Hey everyone, it's Raildo here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the Rust Bucket classes and the two variants, Proto-Sartorium, which is member only, and Enforcer. Before anyone asks, I am not a moderator, I am a tester, but I do still get a gold name. Just for the point of reference, the Rust Bucket class was actually recently updated. Mana costs are a bit lower and damage is a bit higher, and there are a few other nice little things on the whole. It's actually worthwhile using now, it's a lot better than it used to be. So without further ado, I'll now get into the guide. To get the Rust Bucket class or any of the other two variants, simply type /join Dwackle and come here. Now if you talk to this NPC and go to quests, you'll find Proto-Sartorium parts. Now this requires you to face the boss 5 times, and once you've done that, you will be awarded the class. Now the boss is just through here. Note that the enemies in this area are aggressive. And here he is, and you just need to beat him 5 times, and you'll be able to turn in and get your class. Failing that, get a sneak peek of the moves early this time around. Failing that, he also drops the member-only version of the class, although you might have to kill him a few extra times to get it. If you want the Enforcer, because that member-only version is Proto-Sartorium. If you want the other version, Enforcer, you just come along through here and defeat the Mithril Man until he drops his version. Once you have your Rust Bucket class, you're going to want to know how to enhance it. My suggestion would be to go with full fighter enhancements. If you want to use your Blade of War enhancements, I'd say use Health Vamp, since this class doesn't have a heal, and it's quite a tanky class, and the heal will help you be even more tanky. Spiral Carve's not too great, since one of the moves doesn't do damage, and the other move can't crit. That's your major power move, so beware of that. You might want to put in luck for some of your other crits, but I really wouldn't recommend it. If you want these two moves here, which are physical and magical, to do extra damage, maybe some wizard enhancements, but I would really recommend full fighter. In terms of your your rank 4 passives, you've got quick like lightning, and that makes you attack 15% faster, or increases your haste by 15%. And a passive that sort of increases your tankiness, you take 10% extra damage. There is no rank 10 passive for this class, and basically the less health you have, the more MP you'll regenerate. So now we'll get into the moves. Before I start fighting, I'm just going to remind you, I use stable damage ranges in these videos to give you an exact average. What you will see will be the exact average damage. Unstable damage ranges can make you hit a lot higher, but can also make you hit a lot lower. This is just to give you the rough idea of averages, so I will be hitting the same numbers over and over. So you've got an auto attack, and you can basically see how much you'll be doing on crits and non-crits. You have Jackhammer, which is your basic damage dealing move, doing 255% weapon damage. Now, it's only a 4-second cooldown, so you can get a lot of damage in. The downside is that this can never crit. The upside is that it can never miss, so it will always hit. And at only 17 MP, you tend to have more than enough to keep this thing going. Your second move is actually quite cool as well. It's called Plasma Bolt. It's got an 8-second cooldown and is 20 mana, so a little more expensive. But enemies will hit you 20% less, which can be quite useful for increasing your tankiness. So you'll still want to focus the Jackhammer. This can add a little bit of extra damage and will take a bit of damage off you. Third move can be a bit risky. It's an area of effect called Arc Lightning with a 10-second cooldown, also empowered by your magic and physical power. It hits 4 targets, and it works a lot like one of those scrolls where the more targets you hit, the more damage it does. We'll just demonstrate up here quickly. So you could see that the crits were getting more powerful with each bounce, and we'll demonstrate that again now. So if I go here, it should bounce off, and it's not the greatest. You sort of get the idea that the more enemies, each additional enemy it hits does more damage. That goes up to the 4th enemy and then stops. So it's not the greatest area of effect move, but it's something. The final move is what really makes this class good, and this is why you want to dump all your points in strength, because it reduces all incoming damage by an amount based on attack power for 20 seconds. Strength is what primarily increases attack power, so you want to get this as high as possible for the best defense. Now, if I activate this, and then this, my incoming damage is not particularly high. In fact, they actually have to crit to do damage. Now, this doesn't reduce everything to 0. It just blocks a certain amount of damage they do. So when they crit, they're doing enough damage to bypass this. To better explain, I'm now going to show you just a quick little boss clip. Here we have Chaos Lord Kitsune, or Kitsune, I don't know how to pronounce it. But if you attack, you'll see that he does 191 on crits, and he'll do down to about 170 to 200. So now let's use Event Horizon. As you can see, his damage has been reduced to between basically 40 to 70, showing that he's reduced his total damage output by anywhere between about 120 to 160. So it's based on attack power. If he were to crit, he'd do a lot more. And that's good. Now, you want to remember you have Event Horizon, and you use it in conjunction with Plasma Bolts. Plasma Bolt. So they hit you 20% less, and then when they hit you, they are hit with less damage. As you can see, Health Vamp really helps with the heal. Event Horizon actually lasts for an incredibly long time. Almost until the cooldown fades. So you can't fully stay with little damage, but you can keep it up for a long time. As you can see, when he crits, that sort of bypasses the damage block. So this isn't the tankiest class out, and you can't use it to tank bosses that hit thousands. But against normal enemies and some bosses, or moderate bosses, you do seem a bit tanky. So I'll leave you with how you feel about this class. I hope you enjoyed the guide, and I'll be doing more guides soon. Until next time, bye.